Welcome back to Clicks Fix. I'm Rory. See if we can satisfy your hankering, your addiction for some Heroclix content today. Still in the middle of a move, so it's a bit of a rough situation for filming. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different. Not a team building video today. I wanted to kind of do a review of some of the top figures by set. This one will be for Deadpool Weapon X. There are full set reviews out there, so if you wanted to look at those, they're great ones from other content creators, and I like to look at those all the time. So if you want a full set review, go ahead with that. And this is just my view on some of the best figures in the set and why I think they're the best. And it might not just be because of how powerful or useful they are, but also just because of how fun they are to use. Anyway, let's just get right into it. We're going to do it by rarity, so top 5 per rarity. Not going to look at the primes because, I mean, they're all great. There's only, 4 of them. And there's a lot you can look at for those primes. I've already done 3 team building videos for primes in this set. So, is it 3? Maybe just 2? I can't remember. 3. Yeah, Vox Ignis. Anyway, let's get into these. We'll start with the commons. And for me, one of the top ones is the Wolverine, just 001 Wolverine, because he's for 50 points, he's just really solid. And his special attack power, I'm the best at what I'm the best there is at what I do. It's pretty much true for this figure. This version of Wolverine is amazing at what he does, especially when he starts with charge. He's got perplex, that special attack power he has through his whole dial. It says blades, claws, fangs, not too surprising. When Wolverine uses it, after resolutions, deal an opposing character adjacent to either Wolverine or the hit target damage equal to half the result. So, I mean, it's just really, whenever you can hurt more than one character at a time, it's amazing. So, just a common Wolverine doing that, and with a 12 attack on top tile, it's hard to beat. Just make sure that when you're doing it, if you want to make use of that, try to base 2 people with Wolverine if you can. Because if he kills the first person, like the main target of his attack with his blades, like say you roll 6 and it just kills them, if he's not next to anybody else, then he can't make an attack because there's nobody adjacent to him or the initial hit character. Yeah. Second in the commons, I really like Iceman. At 30 points, that's Iceman, and he's just a really fun sculpt. It's a very, not dynamic sculpt, but it's unique because it's just him holding ice cream and wearing normal clothes. It's great. For just 30 points, he's got the running shot, 3 targets for incap. That can be critical at times. Really, really useful. ESD keeps him a little safe, and enhancement, boosting the attack of people he's next to for range attacks is great. But his trait is really where he shines, is because it's the unique modifier. Other friendly characters that can't use special powers modify attack +1. So you build the right team around him. It might not be a meta team, whatever. It's just going to be a super fun team because he's just a fun figure. I love him. Next common, Jeff the Land Shark. Aside from being one of the cutest little sculpts that we ever have gotten, he's got a lot of great keywords. And at 25 points, he can, at 25 points, 4 clicks of health with blades through his whole dial. He has the potential to do a lot of damage if he doesn't just get KO'd. But we love it when he can put out these pizza objects. His trait, free, if Jeff the Land Shark is adjacent to a friendly character that shares a keyword with him, generate a pizza object. Pizza object, just to double check. Character holding this object has free, destroy this object, heal 1 click. Okay, there's another figure I was thinking of. But anyway, being able to just heal 1 click. So that's a whole different thing than regeneration or support, because you're not rolling anything. So if you're on a stop click, the pizza object could just bump you up off that stop click for free action. It's amazing that Jeff can give those out. Well, he just generates them. The other person's got to pick it up somehow. So like if you have any movement, sidestep, great. And it's a free action to use it. So no real downside there. His trait helps him stay alive a little bit longer, hopefully. Shape change and force blast is free, but only if Jeff the Land Shark occupies water terrain, and when he uses it, he can knock back larger characters. I would love to see Jeff knock back Chthon or something like that, because it can only be single base characters, but you could just do a Colossal with a little teeny Jeff and knock him back on the right map, of course. Anyway, next for the commons, multiple man. They almost never make a bad multiple man. They're always useful in some way. I really love this one. Only 10 points. Sidestep, Mastermind on this top dial, and Empower. I mean, 10 points for Empower by itself is great. 3 clicks of life, just awesome. But then free, his trait, if multiple, do the math, free, if multiple men began your turn on the map, roll a d6, and on a 4 through 6, so 50-50 chance, generate another one of him from your KO area. So my recommendation would be to play at least 3 of them, so that when like one dies and then the other 2 each have a chance every turn to try to bring that one back. If you want to do more, I mean, if you could do 4, and together as a group they'd max out each other's damage with all the Empower. 4 characters that could do 5 damage each for 40 points. I mean, they're not very mobile. They could get shot down pretty easy, but I think they can keep coming back. So, love them. Love that multiple man. And another last common, pretty obvious for most people. It's the Timebreaker. And plenty of people talked about him in other videos, and I'm sure you've discussed him in your groups, but he's just, for 5 points, really good, even if you're not on a theme team, especially if you happen to have gotten the bystander that can bring out more of them and not ruin your theme team. Just great. Anyway, helping your characters move more. I'm not going to go into it too much. The errata, I think, was perfect for him. They were a little too crazy, but being able to just do that once per turn is fine. And just getting the one character you need that turn to be placed however many squares up or away, or place one of their guys into a kill box. That could be fun too. I want to see that happen. Anyway, okay, done with the commons. Moving on to the uncommons. I really like Wolvie, another little cute figure, but he's unique. I really like him, especially because of his trait. We'll read it. Did you miss me, did ya? When Wolvie is KO'd, roll a d6 on 4 through 6. Instead of removing him from the map, you may place him adjacent to another friendly character and turn him to click number 1. He is still scored for 30 points. That's protected pulse wave. He's got 3 clicks of life. Anytime you can bring a character or do something besides KOing a character, it's always fun. It makes the game more interesting, more chaotic. Possibility of being able to do more. I really like that. I mean, for an uncommon, he could be a fun pilot for the Chase Wolverine from Wheels of Vengeance, just because, I mean, he can't heal, but he can just be turned to click number 1. Yeah, like him. again. Then another uncommon, Jubilee. I've seen her used very, very well. J in sealed, being like perplexing and barrier because I mean 25 points on her low dial. She's just like some support, so she got the perplex, got barrier, but she's also got pulse wave. So when in a pinch, you can just use her to pulse wave. So yeah, for 25 points, that's where I say she's the best because 50 points. I mean, she's not bad. Running shot, energy explosion, toughness, and um, enhancement. But yeah, I think she's in constructed at least most effectively used on her 25 point line. Other uncommon, I've seen him used very well and sealed before. Morph. Probably for either 75 or 40 points, just depending on what you need. Maybe 40 points is just better, just to have more room on your team because he's still got the same stats, but instead of charge, he has sidestep. So for 35 points less, you lose what, two movement to be able to two movement in a try to move and attack type situation. So yeah, I'd probably just say 40. He's got precision strike, which is really useful these days instead of super strength. But super strength is good too. Anyway, I guess it just depends on what you need. He's got a great trait here, toughness. Traded damage reducing is always great because they might not notice it and forget to outwit it. But shape change also, but succeeds on a 4 through 6. So 50-50 rollout is always good. When Morph uses it and succeeds, he may choose a team ability an opposing character that can use until the end of your next turn. So as long as your opposing team has some decent team abilities, he can even choose Cosmic Energy or Mystics or whatever it is that isn't copyable because he's not copying it, he's just deciding to use it. So yeah, I like Morph. Fourth uncommon here, Mystique. I just used her on Saturday. She did pretty well. I mean, I lost 2 games, but I mean they were pretty solid teams I was going up against. I was just using her Prime Colossus, which he's just good, and Magneto. Traded stealth, great. And opposing characters within range can't use the X-Men team ability. Kind of just dependent on your opponent. Then on her top 2 clicks and her last click, she has a special attack power, which is free. Choose a character within range and line of fire. Then choose a standard attack or damage power they can use. Mystique can use the chosen power until your next turn. If the chosen character is an opposing character with the X-Men keyword, she may choose a second standard attack or damage power they can use until your next turn. So I was using her to like copy Magneto's telekinesis to either throw out Magneto or Colossus, give him a boost into how far he can go, at least first turn. And then she was doing a really good job copying probability control because I didn't have any other on my team from the opponent. So she's just a solid piece. Stealth, so they got to get up unless they ignore hindering and you keep her in hindering. They got to get up close, and she has combat reflexes up to a 19 defense there. And yeah, she's just solid, especially for 30 points. I really like her. And last on the uncommons is Kid Omega. I've talked about him before in for other team builds. He's just a double target, 12 attack mind control. It's just really good to just take control of your opponents that can best beat themselves up. Kid Omega is a great, easy to get figure to do some craziness like that for only 50 points, and he ignores hindering for line of fire. And if he's on or friendly characters for the X-Men keyword, get the Brotherhood team ability. Friendly characters with the Brotherhood team ability instead succeed on a 9 through 12 when using it. So it's just. And then if he needs to attack, on his top 2 clicks, he has the energy explosion. So he could deal out more than just his 1 damage on his top click. He's got some telekinesis and knockback. So I love him. He's just a really useful figure. Now moving on to the rares. Now, probably my favorite version of Deadpool that's just Deadpool from the Deadpool set isn't just named Deadpool, he's named Sheriff Deadpool. A little disappointed in the set not having a really good Deadpool and not having a legacy of the Web of Spider-Man Deadpool. Anyway, Sheriff Deadpool, really like him. He was solid for me in sealed. The quick draw, we've seen quick draw on a lot of characters recently. If they hit during a range attack, if it's the first action during your turn, they get to remove an action token. So action economy is great. And with probability control helps him be more likely to actually hit it. So really good. And he's got traded pen psi. And when he has energy explosion, I love penetrating energy explosion. So much fun. Once per turn, when he hits with a range attack, after resolutions, he may make a range attack using Incapacitate. So getting to do Incapacitate for free is also really good. And he's got a top dial for 4, or top click 4 damage is solid too if you're not using energy explosion. And 6 range is pretty good these days, double target. He's 75 points, so decent investment there, but I think he's good, especially for more casual games. He's pretty darn good. As is Shatterstar. So he's funny to see used. I haven't used him yet, but I've seen him out on the map on some games. And you don't have to have a target to trigger Flurry, which makes his movement crazy because he gets sidestep, trigger Flurry, not have a target, and then be placed 4 squares away, and then to his target. So he basically has a 6 movement charge, I guess, in essence. But once he's in the fray, he can do even more, because then he can attack here. I mean, he's got Blades' whole dial, but he also has 3 targets. So it's kind of like what you want to use, because he can only Blades 1 target. But he's got Exploit, so it kind of just depends on your team what you need to take out. And he ignores elevated and blocking and people for movement, so he's everywhere. 65 or 40 points. I mean, he's awesome at 40 points too. Save him 25 points for something else. But yeah. Beast, the rare beast, is unique for a reason. Now, in more higher level meta play, there's a lot of protection from Outwit, so he's probably not going to see that kind of play. But being able to Outwit, when Beast uses it, he can instead choose 3 standard powers, and protected Outwit on that power. That's his whole dial. He has that special damage, and his whole dial he has special defensive toughness and combat reflexes. For 30 points, remember, Outwit, you target a character, and then you can choose the powers. So we can only outwit powers on 1 character. But that could be critical at times. Like if you're going up against Silver Age, the Iron Spider, who has 3 rollouts. You're like, I don't want you to use any of those rollouts. No shape change, no super senses, and no impervious for you. But yeah, love that beast. And Colossus, just the rare. He's 100 points, so he's definitely going to be more in a casual environment. But I really like him. Defending with a 19 is great, and giving those adjacent friendlies that share a keyword with him. Keep in mind, they can't have their combat values modified by opposing effects, which is great, and they can reduce penetrating. So he does a lot for the team. He's a He's a tank that just protects everybody. I love him. And yeah, he was very useful against me in one of the sealed games I played. So do not sniff at this Colossus. And then finally for the rares, Panda Pool. I only have one. I would like to get more because I would like to play. We'll read the powers first. 60 points. First trait, Panda Pool can't be given costed actions if he has an action token. That's his main downside. When Panda Pool clears action tokens, which is going to happen more often because he can only put on one at a time, heal him 3 clicks if he's within 2 squares of any plant terrain marker. So you got to get a lot of those out or stay near them. The other trait, Bamboo, at the beginning of the game, generate 3 plant hindering terrain markers anywhere on the map. This game, those markers have, when this marker hinders line of fire, characters instead modify defense +2. Helps keep him safe if you keep him in the bamboo. Friendly characters with the animal keyword within 2 squares of one or more plant terrain markers modify attack and damage +1. Another way to get your damage up. So on an animal team, it's great, especially if you have more of him. So you could put out, if you have 2, you can put out 6, and you're covering so much of the map to stay within those 2 squares of the plant terrain markers. I saw a game, I didn't see the game, I was at the event, but I just heard from that game the frustration of the opponent from the guy that was playing 3 Panda Pools. Oh, sorry, Marcus. And Mark, I believe you that you didn't think it was going to be that good. Anyway, yeah, and his movement, his charge flurry through his whole tile, 60 points. It's just fun character, even if he might get blown away in higher level games, but fun character. Now on to the super rares. Scarlet Witch, love her. Definitely super more in a fun environment just because of the chaos. It's hard to control what she's doing because you could give your opponent, like using the props, you could give your opponent a really high roll, or you could really screw yourself over because she has 2 1s. She also has 2 6s on her chaos die. But it's also great to give other characters with the Brotherhood Mystics. So yeah, she's great. Probably either at 80 or 50. I've used her in Battle Royale, and she was awesome. A lot of fun. Move on to Gambit. This one, I still want to get this Gambit. He's pretty freaking cool. Just all the ones with the special die. I want them all. The only one I got was Scarlet Witch. But he's got these, like, just being able to choose between these, not choose. If he rolls his Joker one, then he can choose. But having one of these abilities every turn, modify attack +1 and energy explosion, steal energy but with all attacks, giant reach 5 and quake, modify range +1 and pen psi. Any of those are really good options. And he's got traded stealth and force blast. Force blast as free but only to target an adjacent character. He's just good. And he's 55 points, so he can be really good against Kong with his penetrating damage, if you use that. Anyway, I can tell this video is getting a little bit longer, so let's move. Next, again, mostly just for super fun, Cable, and just the sculpt is super crazy with that huge gun. Love that Cable. And it's just a very unique piece because he can start the game equipped with two equipment, and then you can give him more later. I would probably just play him at 40 and give him more equipment like motorcycles or Hell Cycle to give him some movement at the top, because he has energy shield deflection right there. and you're playing him at 90, he just has a flat 18 with willpower. So unless they come out with some good equipment for defense, I probably would only play him at 40 points just because he can get hit really hard really quickly. But also traded leadership when establishing theme teams. Friendly characters with the New Mutants keyword gain the X-Force keyword, and power choose 2 friendly characters with the X-Force keyword. So very specific team there, X-Force team, or majority X-Force. 2 friendly characters with the X-Force keyword, which could be him as well, that are within 6 squares of each other. Place them into each other's squares. After resolutions, heal one of the chosen characters 1 click. So I don't know how many X-Force characters or New Mutants, I guess, because New Mutants can get the X-Force keyword with him. How many of them have stop clicks, but to be healed easily off stop clicks is great. But that's kind of like a support type power, which is great at his 40, because if you're playing him at 90, you want him to be one of the ones dealing damage. Anyway, Domino, regular Domino, definitely want her. That I played against her, and she is awesome. So getting hot shots when she succeeds on leadership, she gets that token. Friendly characters with hot shots trait have when this character would roll a single d6, they may remove a hot shots token to roll the domino die instead of the d6. And she's got 3 6s and a 5, then a 1 and a 2 on that die. So helping her succeed on super senses is crazy because she's also just succeeds on a 4 through 6. But you can make it even better by using her special die. Oh, she's so annoying. Really annoying to take down, but she's just a great figure. And she's got prop. When Domino makes a range attack, one of the d6s rolled may be her Domino die instead. She doesn't even have to use a hot shots token for doing that. You can just have really high attacks with Domino. I definitely want one of her. Last super rare, I've talked about him a lot before, and half of it's just because he has a super awesome sculpt, is Magneto. He did, he did okay for me in a game this last Saturday, but he's just a lot of fun. He's a huge point investment, though, at 175, which is what I did. But you could still use him at 100 points. I never used his unequip all characters because I had some good equipment on my team and I didn't want to lose that. But I've talked about him before, built a team around him. Go check out that video if you want to see more of my views of Magneto. Same situation here as we move on to the chases with Zombie Wolverine. I made a team around him. He's awesome. I love the deceased type characters. I mean, he's the only one that is that type that isn't actually deceased. But I love him. And with his Wolverine squad, letting him possibly heal, even on his crazy dead clicks. Just great figure. Then the second chase. Oh, wait, no, did I forget one? No. Second chase is the Wolverine, the Phoenix Wolverine. I've seen him used on videos before. I haven't actually seen him on the map, but I've seen him used by Dice Station Zebra and other places. But he's a lot of reading for him, but he can stay alive. Luckily, his stop clicks are only once per game. That's like the only way to see that he's kind of balanced. Otherwise, he'd be nuts because you'd just never be able to take him down. And he can just deal out so much damage, which is why he's 275 points. I'm not going to go through them. Other set reviews, check them out. If you want to talk about them in the comments below. I will definitely engage there with anybody who makes comments. Major Logan, tons of people have talked about him. Just being able to make your D6 rolls better is amazing, and ruin your opponent's single D6 rolls. It's crazy. I wish I had him. Chases King Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone. They're amazing. They are Kong killers now with his errata because they're 55 points, doing penetrating damage, putting out Jeff, and it's just they can just deal out so much damage. They're crazy, and they're decent. They're decently hard to kill, especially if you like copy Spider-Man team ability. Ah, wish I had him. Then last, and definitely not least, Deadpool and Hitmonkey. I wish I had Deadpool and Hitmonkey. I love the assassins. I have talent. That's why I want all the great assassins, because I have talent and I want to use her effectively. But he's got the target, or they have the target ability, which a lot of the assassins have. Traded stealth. Friendly characters with the assassin keyword modify attack and damage +1 when attacking a character that's been hit by Deadpool and Hitmonkey this turn. So they do their first thing, and then the rest of the team just piles on top. They're just precision strike. Make up to 2 range. So he can running shot and do 2 ranged attacks, but only to target an opposing character with the target token. So yeah. Anyway, this is a longer video than I've ever made, but kind of a mini set review of just the things that I liked the best of each rarity that came out of the set. Let me know if you like this kind of format. If you want to see that for Masters of Time, I haven't delved too deeply into Masters of Time yet, but if you want to see that for this one, let me know, because I want to make what you guys want to see. And if there are any other team builds that you want to see for the some of the higher rarities of the figures in Masters of Time, let me know about that, or older figures, because now I think I'm gonna just try to move forward from my initiative. But if any of you want to see a specific character get build, more casual build around that character, let me know. I'll try and make a video on it. There was a special request from Dice Station Zebra. They wanted to, when I say that, it just sounds so weird, Dice Station. Anyway, they wanted to see a Brother Voodoo build, so I did a video of that one. That went back a set or two. But then apparently Brother Voodoo was in the world's winning team, which I didn't expect to see that when I looked at the teams, the build sheets and everything. So anyway, let me know what you want to see. More for casual, but yeah, I think that's it. Love to hear from you guys. This has been Clicks Fix. Hope we satisfied that addiction for talking about Heroclix, and we'll see you next time for another hit.